If we remove income tax, the amount of money that will come into the country is enormous. This 16% can be easily made up in transactional taxes and the goods services can be taxed. See, somebody does not mind paying. Right now, if I buy like a car or a motorcycle or a piece of cloth or anything, even if I buy food, if you are charging me another 40 paisa extra for 1 rupee, I don't really mind. But when I have to pay 40 rupees out of my 100 rupees, it hurts. Especially because I think these services are not coming back to me. Ireland has 15% or 14%, something like that. If we get down the corporate tax to that level, I know we will lose revenue, but losing revenue is a good decision to take. See, right now, major companies like Google and others are keeping billions of dollars in Ireland because the tax is low. That's what the US president is trying to get back to their country. If our taxes are low, people will keep their money here and that's how a nation becomes rich, that's how the businesses will thrive. We must understand that by paying taxes, nation does not become rich. Nation will become rich only when the businesses thrive. If businesses have to thrive, inflow of money should be happening, everybody should want to put their money in our country. That must happen. Right now, everybody is parking their money elsewhere and elsewhere, wherever the tax is less.
Levying 39% tax on the 11.34 crore rupees earned by him means he has to pay a whopping 4.42 crores as tax. Think of it. 40% of what the 18-year-old has earned through his sheer talent and hard work will be lost to the taxman. The fine print, though, is a bit more nuanced. A little more than half of this money will be paid to Singapore in the form of tax deducted at the source of income. The rest, which still comes up to a sum of above 2 crore rupees, comes to the Indian Finance Ministry.
Pranam Sadhguru.
Namaskaram.
I had the tax administration in this country so far as direct taxes is concerned, and my job, as I perceive, is to raise resources for the government which can be used for the greater good of all the people. But in these difficult times, Sadhguru, I find that though the department has done a lot to ease the compliance burden of the taxpayers, still there exists some sort of a trust deficit between the taxpayer and the government. I would like to have your views how to bridge this trust deficit so that we can create an enabling environment whereby each one of us contribute to the job of nation building.
Well, so what I say, you may not like it, but shall I say?
Please.
Because see, in a nation like ours, when less than 2% of the population is paying income tax, they will always feel that their money is not coming back to them in the form of services, because with 2% of the people or less than 2% of the people paying tax, you have to service the other 98% of the population which doesn't pay tax. So naturally, people who pay taxes will feel it's very unjust, because nearly 40%, 40 rupees out of 100 rupees if you take it away, there is a certain pain. So naturally, we will find professionals who can give us all kinds of masala to reduce that 40 rupees into 30 rupees or 20 rupees or whatever. Fortunately, for the corporate taxes, it's been reduced, which is a very sensible thing to do. But right now, as a nation, What we need is not taxes, what we need is phenomenal amount of investments we need in this country. If we want the life of this generation, not the next one or the next one, this generation's life, if we want to see real betterment and improvement, if we want this generation of people to experience this ancient nation as a developed country, then what we need is not taxes because it's too little. We need phenomenal amount of investments. I would say, in the next 2 years, minimum of 1 to 1.5 trillion investments if we get, then we will have infrastructure, then we will have services, then we will have businesses running, then we will have everybody being employed. But with these taxes, the amount of taxes we are collecting, to collect taxes from 1.4 or 1.5% of the population and service 98% is not a practical way to go on. Even if you increase it to 3, 4, 5% in the next few years, if that much earning comes, but I think many people will fall off the tax bracket now in this 2020, rather than people entering into the tax bracket. Above all, to build a nation, one of the most important thing is people should have a feeling and an affinity for the nation. Right now, this tax is one thing which makes people still, in this country we must understand, even today district administrators are called as collectors. This is from the British era. Because the British were only interested in collecting tax, never giving you any service. They were just taking the tax money and taking it back to their home, whatever they were doing there. So, that same the same words are still used, they're still collectors. So even today, I must tell you this, and you know this better than me, at that time in the British era, there are many heroes in our, not as big as Mahatma Gandhi or Subhash Chandra Bose or something like that. There are many small folk heroes in local areas, in the villages and other things. The one reason why they became heroes was, they did not pay the tax. The man who did not pay the tax was a hero in this country, and that unfortunate mentality or psychology still persists in the country. Even today, if you meet among small traders and others, how he escaped the tax is a very big conversational thing, and the guy who did not pay the tax is always the hero in this country. This is a wrong approach to nation building. It's very important that people are honest with the nation. For that, there must be a fair sense of return. See, now 40 rupees out of 100 rupees I pay. Even 1 rupee, does it come back to me? This is a question mark, because you have to service the 98% of the population which doesn't pay the tax. So what is the solution? What I say, please sir, if it is not knowledgeable, please dismiss it, but this is just my thought. I'm just thinking, anyway now GST has come, transactional taxes can come, bank transactional taxes can come, for every transaction you can take it. Right now, income tax is only adding to 16% of the government's revenue. This 16% can be easily made up in transactional taxes and the goods services can be taxed. See, somebody does not mind paying. Right now, if I buy like a car or a motorcycle or a piece of cloth or anything, even if I buy food, if you are charging me another 40 paisa extra for 1 rupee, I don't really mind. But when I have to pay 40 rupees out of my 100 rupees, it hurts, especially because I think these services are not coming back to me. For me, money is one aspect of it, money is not the important aspect. The important aspect is the citizens of this nation start dodging something. So there is an element of criminality in that. And by being a criminal, you survive and you're successful being a criminal. Either you somehow escape or you bribe somebody or you get away with the system somehow. Now, once I commit one crime and I'm successful, I'm always encouraged to commit a bigger crime and a bigger crime. This must go out of our citizenry, this must go out of the Indian mind completely. We must know that if we are not law-abiding, there is a price to pay and a serious price to pay. Right now, it is just a question of little fine, do this, do that, so much unnecessary nonsense. How much time and energy our individual people, business people are spending time as to how to dodge the tax. I'm not saying they won't do that with GST, That also has become a big organization now in the country. But those things can be much more easily fixed than the income tax, and 16% of the income for the nation can come. But if we remove income tax, the amount of money that will come into the country is enormous. Right now, corporate tax has been reduced to 22%, is it? 22 or…
Yes, yes.
22%. Ireland has 15% or 14%, something like that. If we get down the corporate tax to that level, I know we will lose revenue, but losing revenue is a good decision to take. And the inflow of investment coming in is most important. There is no such thing as foreign investment and local investment anymore, because we can make foreign investment into local produce and local employment, local industry. We can also frame laws. If you invest in the country, it's not that all the profit you will take away and go away somewhere. Anyway, tax is low means they will keep it here. See, right now, major companies like Google and others are keeping billions of dollars in Ireland because the tax is low. That's what the US president is trying to get back to their country. If our taxes are low, people will keep their money here, and that's how a nation becomes rich. That's how the businesses will thrive. We must understand that by paying taxes, nation does not become rich. Nation will become rich only when the businesses thrive. If businesses have to thrive, inflow of money should be happening. Everybody should want to put their money in our country. That must happen. Right now, everybody is parking their money elsewhere and elsewhere, wherever the tax is less. I think this is my thought. If I'm wrong, please tell me.
Thank you, Sadhguru.
You can tell me, sir, if I'm wrong on my perception.
Maybe we will engage in that discussion sometime later, Sadhguru. Thank you.
But it's a thought process, and which is a vision which is much more dynamic than just being a tax collector. So that's something which has really come out of the whole thing.
The most important thing is, ordinary citizens behaving like criminals is a bad idea for a nation.
Yes. Thank you, Sadhguru. So we have with us…
But here, let me just tell one thing, that wherever as a tribunal we feel that the assessment carried out by the income tax authorities are not in accordance with law, or maybe not in accordance with the justice delivery norms and system, we always try to rectify their mistakes and do justice to the SSEs especially.
See, how many complex systems just to collect tax from less than 2% of the people?
Yes.
The income tax department, then an appellate, then another system and another system.
Yes,
How many systems?
Even after Tribunal, High Court and Honorable Supreme Court, many disputes go. Yes.
When I closed my eyes for months on end and sat, everybody wrote me off, I went and sat in a small farm in a remote place, closed my eyes and simply sat. Food didn't come very often, so I lost a lot of weight. I was very muscular and strong when I was a student. Then I closed my eyes and sat. Food doesn't come by itself, you have to go behind it. So I lost a lot of weight and simply sat there. Of course, my parents were super disappointed. My teachers, one by one, they started coming and said, "We thought you will do something, but you're gone, you finished." I said, I have never been this great in my life. I might have lost weight, maybe I don't have money, but I have never felt life was this fantastic as it is right now. So what's fantastic about you? Because your friends have become engineers, doctors, IAS officers. What's fantastic about you? I said, I don't care what they have become. I know something fantastic has happened within me. Will the world value this or not? Who cares? In terms of life, I have found something super fantastic, and that's all that matters. They thought I've lost my mind also. At one time, they really thought I need psychiatric evaluation simply because you are not trying to be better than somebody. Because the entire world seems to be. But this is the ethos of this nation. We never looked at how somebody else is doing. There are beautiful stories like this. On this side of the river, there's one village, on that side of the river, another village. They can see the people, they can hear them talking, they see the cooking smoke. But they never went across the river and met those people. Said, they seem to be living well, we are fine here, why should we go and see? They never went. People will say, oh, these people have no exploration sense. Well, all the explorers went into India, Africa, Asia, Australia. What have they done? Slaughter in the end. We never had such a need because this was a land of seeking. Seeking and knowing was the highest value. Conquering and establishing something was not the highest value. Establishing the human being was the biggest value, not establishing other edifices and structures in the society. This people thought is a disadvantage, but at the same time we became the most vibrant economy on the planet. For many centuries, we were the only real economy. Everybody wanted to come to India, not because they were in love with you, because this was the richest land. That is why everybody wanted to come here. One Vasco da Gama reached here, many drowned in the ocean, but still they wanted to come because this was the richest land on the planet. Like right now, everybody wants to go to America because it's the richest nation on the planet. So, without a sense of conquest, we became a very vibrant economy. This is a very unique achievement which we need to bring back to this world because today our mode of economy itself is a conquest and it's a destruction. The way we have structured the economy in the world is such, today the Living Earth statistics say, if all the 7.3 billion people on the planet have to get what an average American citizen has, we need 4.5 planets. But we have only half a planet. One half has been taken. If really economy succeeds on this planet as we are planning it right now, this is the end of the world, really. It keeps going into recession to save us. This is like the proverbial story where a man is sitting on the wrong end of the branch and cutting it. When he succeeds, he falls. We have taken to this mode, but we operated this country in a different way. Our success would not make us fall, our success would not be a detriment to somebody else. We have to bring this back. We are part of the modern economic system now, it's not easy, but still individually we can all cultivate this, that our success is not just about this and that and what people think about us, about how we are as a life, how I am within myself. This is my success, isn't it? For this, I don't have to look at somebody who's little worse than me or better than me. Wherever I sit or stand, this feels fantastic. This is a successful life, isn't it?